Let me ask Mr. Higiro, in your opinion, is the U.S. Department of State pressing an investigation into the killings and the alleged conspiracy to assassinate well enough, aggressive enough? Have you been interviewed by anyone? Have your tapes been analyzed from CIA to U.S. Department of State, as far as you know? And where is Colonel Dan Munyuza, the Director of Military Intelligence? Is he still in that position in Rwanda, or has he been dismissed? Where is he?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dan Munyuza actually was moving with me. I was employing him indirectly. So he started this when he was the Director of Military Intelligence. But you know, we have the Chief of External Intelligence, who is supposed to be dealing with people like us who are supposed to kill people outside the country. So because of the way they thought I'm going to do something great and become a hero, as they told me, he was moved from the Directorate of Military Intelligence to the Director of External Intelligence. So I continued with him. When the mission aborted, he was taken to prison slightly. And then he was brought back as he's now the Deputy Police Commander. You know, but he's still in Rwanda. Let me make something clear. It doesn't really matter where Dan Munyuza or Jack Nziza, it doesn't matter what post they hold in the government or in the military or in the police. It's just a shadow for them to do what they're supposed to do. These are two gentlemen who get direct orders from the president. They are the ones who have killed almost everybody that has died. The set Senda Shongas they are talking about, they were killed by Jack Nziza in Nairobi when he was a diplomat there. It doesn't matter where they are. But I'm going to defend my colleague, Mr. Sharita. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for Rwandans who are here. I feel sorry for the diplomats in these embassies of Rwanda. They are told what to say. There are lines they can't cross, and you can't see him. He doesn't really have even that information. They don't even feed him information to support them. You know, he doesn't know anything about these cases. He's an American. He has been in America, has never lived in Rwanda. He doesn't understand what's going on, you know. But the passion he talked about, he thinks the country is moving in a direct direction. And I'm sure he's going to find out more after this hearing, and probably we're going to talk about it. So that's the truth. And to the other question of the State Department, they have not done that so far. They have never reached me. They have never reached me, but I've shared this with the Belgian government. And I think they know because, of course, when we're asking for asylum, we need to give such evidences to support our criteria to be recognized. And still on that point, I would request to clarify that even where we are not safe. And the governments, like you asked the department responsible, they think it's a game or a joke or it's not really serious, but it is very serious. The widow and children to the late Colonel Patrick Karegeya was strangled in South Africa are here in US. But they have been denied asylum up to now because of this conspiracy. I'm not accusing anybody, but there is a problem. They are like prisoners. They don't move out of US. It's a current situation. You can take it from there and find out what is the problem. What kind of criteria does this family that their own father and husband was strangled in South Africa does not fulfill for them to get asylum in this democratic country? You know, it's a big issue. The conventions, the Geneva Conventions are clear. But something is wrong somewhere. Even us, in Belgium, in Europe, in Africa, the refugees from Rwanda. Let's talk about the kidnapping of Lieutenant Mutabazi to Rwanda. it was against the law. But the Ugandan government has never said anything about that. The UNHCR has never said anything about that. But it was wrong. The wife and the children to this lieutenant are somewhere in a camp in Uganda. The children are not going to school. She was supposed to be taken somewhere. She's still there. So are we doing enough? Is these strong countries doing enough on what we are talking about? Absolutely not. We are here. I put my life on the line to come here and say, look here, the problem is this. And I do this in many different capacities, and I talk to different Rwandans, Hutus, Tutsis. I educate every day, every day, every day. I talk to whoever I meet. I've talked to different diplomats, but nothing is being done. Thank you.